So this leads me to my final and quite possibly most out there theory and original thought as of yet. Earth as a zygote undergoing mitosis. I have no clue where this came from or how long ago I started thinking about this. I think it was probably inspired by the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton in his ancient book, The Biology of Belief, of which I read about 15 years ago now. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it, so you too can go nerd out on cellular biology like me. I was actually just writing a couple chapters in my upcoming book about this, but basically, what if the Earth was dimensionally undergoing mitosis? As we now know from epigenetics, it's not the DNA, but the field in which the DNA is that determines which genes get expressed. What if Earth was set to undergo mitosis, as many ancient civilizations went above and beyond and out of their way to signify this exact moment in time-space with monuments of epic proportions like the pyramids, the Mayan calendar, and the mysterious anomalous Göbekli Tepe? For more references on this, you're going to have to wait till my book comes out. But for now, you might want to research the work of Greg Braden, his book Fractal Time, or the work of Graham Hancock, in both of his books, The Fingerprints of the Gods and The Magicians of the Gods, to get an idea of what I'm talking about. So let's just say that on the grand scale of things, Earth was a zygote, dividing itself into several other Earth-like versions of itself. We now know about the field of noetics thanks to research bodies like the Institute of Heart Math and the Global Coherence Institute, etc., that we now know that the collective thoughts of humanity have the ability to be both measured and located. And it actually has a location around the Earth called the noosphere. This may in fact be the field that creates a consensual reality, aka the fractal composite. So potentially all our thoughts go to this noosphere, and that becomes the field in which dictates what is transcribed or expressed in this reality of Earth. So bear with me here. This is a far stretch for a concept, but let's just go with it. So, the Hindus talked about a concept called getting off the wheel of samsara, or the wheel of karma. And they also, too, ironically, have calendars that pointed to this exact moment in time-space. So, could we stretch ourselves for just a moment to explore if our thoughts create reality, but we're all thinking different thoughts? So if our thoughts create reality, and we're all thinking different thoughts, everywhere from the stretch of like the worst thoughts possible, like let's say the doomsdayers that are running around terrified and professing that Armageddon is here, to like the most advanced ascended spiritual masters on the planet that exist in this sort of utopia and heaven-like state on Earth. Let's say that everything in between exists. All the thought forms in between exists. So could humanity be at a crux moment in time where we're given an opportunity to timeline jump from one consensual reality to another, simply by attuning our beliefs to those of which we want to create, thereby aligning with the corresponding noosphere and having that energy as a fractal composite? Let me describe that again. So if all of those belief systems are existing on the planet right now, but the Earth is undergoing mitosis, could it be that we could shift our thoughts into thinking something that where we want to go? If we were a doomsdayer, we could shift to utopia and be aligned by resonance with that noosphere to be on that Earth when it shifts into mitosis. So I know that this is a little challenging to follow, and I would love to talk with you more about it. So I believe that all this is actually what's happening, and this is how I've chosen to live my life. Because even using this thought experiment as a metaphor has proven to give me a higher quality of living and a more empowering sensation to affect the change in my world, or at least in my microbiome.